I spent 30 hours in just the starting zone of the Outer Worlds to meticulously exploring every cave, cavern, crack, crabble, crevice, and crevice in search of the best stuff. I ended up finding some things on this first planet that I don't want you to miss out on at the beginning of your playthrough. There's some higher tier armors to find, important character abilities to unlock, a new companion to add to your team that you could entirely miss, and strong weapons waiting to be snagged. Like at the very start of your playthrough, after you get through the intro prologue, there's something special waiting for you on your ship. If you've exited the ship already, just open your map, you can fast travel right back to the interior. Across from the center area with a big table, you'll find a room that has a unique weapon locked up on the wall with a level 11 lockpicking requirement. You don't have that yet. So turn around, and next to the workbench, you'll see some boxes that you can climb over, and behind those boxes, you'll find a switch that conveniently and engineeringly questionably toggles just the power to that secured weapon locker. Now you can freely take the Rookie's Reward weapon, which could become your main trigger squeeze for the foreseeable future, because this has a special mod on it that allows the weapon to accumulate experience as it's used, leveling itself up over time. Like it says at the bottom, finally, a weapon that learns to get better so you don't have to. As you use the Rookie's Reward, it'll periodically increase its overall damage, rate of fire, ammo capacity, recoil, and gain other bonuses as it levels up. It even shoots off a little confetti celebration indicating that your weapon Digipet has just evolved to its next higher form. The earlier you start using the Rookie's Reward, the sooner you'll get it up to higher levels, making it faster, stronger, and just all around more enjoyable to fire. Like, here's how it starts, and here's what mine leveled up into after just a couple hours of gameplay with it. I legit have no idea how ridiculous this weapon could potentially get if used for an entire playthrough up into the 100 hours mark. Let me know if you happen to max this thing out. I do recommend stocking up on the short round ammo type if you're going to use the Rookie's Reward, or buy the crafting recipe to build short round ammo yourself. If you have Niles on your team, you can talk to him, pick field tinkering, and use him as a man workbench from wherever you're at in the world. In here you can craft stuff like ammo, add mods to your gear if you have some, or break down unneeded gear into crafting materials. Next, some armor, straight out of the Crabble spawning grounds that are located right next to where your ship has landed. Easy to miss if you just headed immediately forward into the first town. You'll find a small cave entrance in the mountain here. Take that in, then there'll be some alive enemies you'll have to fight through. Head into the next cave, take a right, and on the table here you'll find the Scoundrel's Aegis armor set with a free mod next to it. This is a light armor set that gives you a 20% evasion chance, 50% increased sprint speed and combat, the Last Stand mod that gives you temporary overcharge health after you use a companion ability, along with the Cost Cut Materials mod that provides a 30% damage resistance buff, which lowers by 5% each time you take damage during that combat encounter. A solid early game armor to improve your general survivability, and it's right next to where you landed. Next, an important traversal ability and a nice helmet. In the main town of Fairfield, that's in the center of the map, you'll find next to the clinic this guy, Huel Chaudry, and talk to him to start the quest, Perilous Journey to the Grove. Then just southwest out of town, head over to the Sovereign's Sweet Spire Grove. You'll find here an elevator that's currently inoperable, which can be fixed if you have Engineering 3 by this point, or just climb on the boxes behind this, get on the roof, jump over to this cliff in the side of the mountain, and you can scale your way all the way up to the top without any need of that dumb elevator. Someone plops out of the sky, testing out some new jump tech, interact with that body, and you'll talk to some people that are trapped up on top of this place. Then search that body to acquire the Plasmatic Augmented Leap Enhancer. You now have the ability to do a double jump, which lets you access a few places that you normally would not be able to. If you continue up the spire here to save those trapped NPCs, that'll lead to lowering this platform to save them, and then they'll reward you with the Target Finder helmet. This gives a 10% increase to weak spot damage in the mod Rangefinder that'll increase the damage you do to weak spots like headshots the further away from the target you are. Great for range sniper playstyles, good for all-around mid-range combat. Now that we have the ability to jump higher, fast travel back to where your ship's landed, and look right next to it. You'll find this stack of cargo containers. You now have enough vertical jump to get up to the top of these containers, and up here you'll find some goodies and also the silenced repeating rifle. This comes with a silencer pre-installed and a hologram sight. This combos well with that helmet that we just got, and is a must if you're trying to go for a long-range stealth build early in the game. Next, one of my personal favorite weapons now that you have probably a little money to spend. Head to this location in the main town of Fairfield to find a shop that sells armor and weapons. In this dude's inventory, you'll see the Rattler weapon, and I highly suggest grabbing it if you can afford it. This weapon has a mod on it called Snake Shot, which turns it into essentially a powerful shotgun revolver. Aiming down the sights with this classy golden gun fires its more accurate rounds at a slower fire rate, but using it from the hip lets you quickly fan the hammer to rapidly shred out a shotgun-like spread. The Rattler gives you the best of both worlds, an accurate mid to long range weapon and something you can point right up close snug into something when you need it eviscerated. Something to consider though, if you buy any of the barrel mods like the shock barrel or plasma barrel, installing these will convert the Rattler's outgoing damage type to elemental while lowering its raw damage output. Might want to hold off on putting on any of those barrel mods at this point because I find it stronger in the early game just leaving it to its higher raw physical damage value. The elemental effects are pretty satisfying though, and can be more effective against certain enemy types, so do whatever you want. Next, how to get the completely missable companion of this planet, which then leads into acquiring your energy shield. If you haven't already, go to the largest building in the center of Fairfield, where you'll find these two. You can only side with Officer Core or Minister Milverstreet, so take the quest from whichever person you pick. Then you'll want to travel west to the Ministry of Accuracy. Fight your way through this place, and then you'll get your first interaction with Inez. That's the companion we're going to eventually get. Follow the quest line here, and that'll conclude with you printing out an important item, the Automech Repair Center Access Pass. Head back to town to turn in that quest to whichever NPC you chose, and on your way out of that building, you'll find Inez standing there, and talk before heading out to start the quest called Better Than Nature. Following that quest will lead you to a scientist in town, and then you'll have the option to get a sample from one of two places marked on your map, or you can go for both. After you get a sample from a Crabble and or Raptidon, head back to the scientist, and then you'll get to pick which creature to graft onto Inez's funky arm. This will modify that arm's appearance and change Inez's main active ability. Upon quest completion, Inez will become a core member of your team. Depending on your choices throughout the game though, you can permanently lose companions if you pick critical story branches that they really do not like. Beware. Now that you have the Automech Repair Center pass, go to the Far East location, which is where the repair center is, and give the pass to the guard to let you in. In one of the labs in the back of town, look for Delphinia, and she'll give you a quest, an Aegis against the miasma. Opposite of where her place is, you'll collect a sample from this hazardous gas, you'll be fine, and then bring it back to her to trigger the next part of the quest. You'll have to then head just outside of the repair center to examine this mech. Go back to her again, and this gets you the brand new character ability, the Gas Energy Deflection Apparatus. This allows you to expend your energy gauge to create a protective shield around your character that entirely absorbs incoming damage while it lasts. If you're playing on higher difficulties, seek this out as soon as possible in your playthrough because it helps a ton in your general survivability. Next, I didn't forget about melee builds, so let's get a melee weapon. Head west to the Skycutter location, which is a big tall building, but before heading inside, hang a right, and off to the side, grab just one more ranged weapon before we get to the melee stuff. This is a nice beefy shock machine gun that can rip through mechanical stuff pretty quickly. Go inside the Skycutter building and then go down the floor to find a corpse with a key and an ID on it, and a chest nearby that requires you to find 5 more staff IDs in this area. Work your way up each floor and look out for dead people scattered about for those IDs. On floor 6, you'll need to activate the elevator to get up to the top floor 7. This will lead you outside where you'll find a weapon that's lodged in the side of this electrical unit, but you can't remove it just yet. You'll need to turn off the power to the facility with a nearby switch, and then go back, yank out the Thunderstuck weapon. This is a two-handed shock melee weapon that has the Crash of Thunder mod, which makes heavy attacks shoot out an electric projectile. This Thunderstuck weapon can block and be swung like a normal melee weapon, but holding the attack button launches out a electrified shock wave. Kinda like having a spellcaster's staff, but one that's extra good at concussions. Oh, and if you found all 5 of those IDs in the Skycutter building, go back to the lowest floor to open that chest for some extra goodies. This next thing is going to get you a few weapons and a heavy armor set, but you will need to have taken the Pickpocket perk. either during character creation or from new perk points gained by leveling up. Now head to the big building in the center of Fairfield with Minister Milverstreet and Officer Core. Crouch behind Milverstreet and you can freely pickpocket his private locker key. And then pickpocket Core for the war chest key with 0 repercussions if no one happens to see you do this. Head over to Milverstreet's home at this location and inside you'll find his locker, which you can now access. This will get you the limited production Gentleman's Oxonian. This hat gives you a 5% increase to crit chance, 40% increase to crit damage, and has the Marketing Manager mod that improves Companion's ability recharge rate, which scales with your speech stat. Then head over to this location where you'll find this trailer by the training area, and you'll find Core's war chest here. This gets you a few things: a triple barrel shotgun, Core's corroder, but most importantly, Core's cuirass. This is a heavy armor set that gives you a 10% resistance to damage, has the Adrenaline Shot mod, which decreases your toxicity whenever you take damage, which also scales with the medical stat, along with the Cost Cut Materials mod, reducing damage by 30%, which then reduces by 5% each time you take damage during that combat encounter. You also obtain Core's Corroder, which is a biomass-fueled weapon that shoots globs that can bounce. Personally, I didn't get a ton of use out of this thing until I modded it with the Frost Converter, which changes it to slowing ice damage. You also got a triple barrel shotgun from that chest, and just a bonus knowledge nugget: if you have any gear on you that increases your total magazine size, like this hat, you can load in more than 3 shells in a triple barrel shotgun, because magic. And the last thing I have for you is kind of a bonus for stealth builds, but head up to the Raptidon Den North, which you might have already visited during the questline for Inez. In the large open area of this cave, you'll find a high security lockbox. Once you have that, go back to your ship, use the little arrows on the side of the lockbox mechanism thing to toggle between the ones you found until you get the lockbox that provides Murderer's Best Friend. If you don't have 7 advanced decryption keys to open it, keep a lookout for those to be found in vendor stocks or just hidden around physically in the world. When you have enough, you can use those to open that lockbox for a dagger that's perfectly tailored for stealth builds. The Murderer's Best Friend comes with the Killing Spree mod, which coats the blade in blood after each stealth kill, increasing sneak attack damage by 20% each time up to 3 stacks. And at maximum stacks, your footsteps become entirely silent as well. As long as the enemy is not too high of a level, this is a great one to have on you when the opportunity for backstabs presents itself. There are dozens of other things I found on just this first planet, but I didn't want this video to become like 30 minutes long, so those were just some of the highlights. Let me know if you found any of this stuff to be helpful for your playthrough, and after you pump a few hours in, I'm curious, what do you think of the Outer Worlds 2 so far? Now, a big thanks to Xbox for providing access to the Outer Worlds 2 for free. And as always, I'm Alex. Hope to see you in the next one.